Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's last group session of 2021. We've got the new year approaching in 2 days, and that New Year's energy is coming in quite strongly. Um, so if you're not able to watch the session right now or be on with us, you can always catch the recording at www.mmarzak.com. And there's a list of things up there. You can catch all of the other sessions that were done. If you've missed them, you can book a private session for yourself, whether it be Body Talk or Soul Responsibility, or catch one of my courses. So we're going to hop right into the session because someone mentioned New Year's resolutions, and I was feeling into that actually before the session was starting. This whole idea and concept of having this New Year's resolution, all I hear is New Year expectations. And for those of you who don't know me, I burp to transmute or move the energy. I wish I was a yawner, but I burp. So in those new year of expectations, so you can just feel into it for yourself and feel where you feel it within your body, these new year resolutions, and my whole body contracts. My whole being just wants to shrivel up and hide away in a corner. So you can think for yourself. It feels really quite brutal and quite abusive. So you can think to yourself all of the places, all of those expectations or New Year resolutions that you made for yourself coming from 2020 into 2021, for example. And then you can see everything that you said you wanted to do. Whether it be for fitness or finances or personal life or even relationships. So this even brings up, I want to have a better relationship with my family, my spouse, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I want to have a relationship. Whew. Then work. You're taking, let's say, even taking care of your house or your household or your neighborhood, your community, and it just keeps growing. All of these resolutions that you say, this is going to make me a better person because there's something inherently wrong with me. So I need to stockpile resolutions, or I like to say expectations upon myself so that I can improve as a person. Oh my God, that feels so heavy, and it's burdening the heart. It's burdening the soul. So we're in three places at the same time. We're going to dump this goal orientation where it's a pathological consciousness that thinking that doing things is going to make you better, thinking that doing things, oh God, even just the thinking that there is something wrong with you. There is something wrong with me, therefore I need to improve. Now, we're looking at the sticky goal orientation. I'm not talking about healthy goals where you're like, okay, I'd like to be here. For example, I've got a goal. I'd like to start working towards being able to run a triathlon, for example. So each day, I'm going to take a practical action towards that, reaching that, right? So I'm going to start by eating better. But if I don't eat well that day, there's no great big pitfall. There's no beating yourself up over it. You just slowly work towards your goal. Live as if you have it, and then your actions just follow suit naturally. That comes from the gut. That comes from the discernment. What we're doing here, what we're doing here is that goal orientation, that thinking that doing something is going to make you inherently better. And then that assumes that there is something inherently wrong with you. That is so burdening. I could feel the contraction on my lungs, on my heart, on my rib cage, within the diaphragm. I could feel the weight of that completely. It's sitting on the gut, and the gut is discernment, the small intestines. I feel it weighting that down so hard. I feel the liver coming in and freaking out with all of that thinking. The liver is responsible for organizing and planning. It works well, it works together with the digestive system, and then it knows what to do. It just organizes and plans your day, your life, step by step. It knows what to do. But with all of these expectations or this goal orientation, it just feels flaccid and fried, like just feels like mush. We're going to anchor this goal or this pathological goal orientation. We're going to anchor it to the heart for individuation, which just means it's ready to be transmuted. It's not serving you, it's not serving your life. It's ready to be released. Feels like a big chunk being like a boulder falling off, this unburdening but it's from the heart. It feels so heavy in there. So gonna anchor pathological consciousness of goal orientation to the heart. We're going to bring in also the liver, which is the seat of the soul in Chinese medicine. In comes also the psoas, so all aspects of the soul. So the muscle of the soul, the seat of the soul, the psoas, the muscle of the soul, the liver, the seat of the soul, and then the actual soul in your heart. So burdened by this. There's sadness coming up and grief. So we're going to do a biogenic emotional release to sadness, to grief from these expectations that you place on yourself. So you just feel into your body and just think about all of the things that you think are going to make you better, or this is going to improve me, or my life, or my finances, or my relationships. If I do this, then this will happen 100% for certainty. Take a nice deep breath. Oof, I'm watching it dump. There it goes. I'm going to tap this. I'm going to go ahead and tap this in. Take a nice deep breath. Oof, I'm dizzy with that. So now I'm in the brain. I'm in actually the whole brain, and we're going to do a circulation plug-in of oxygen. It really feels like there's more oxygen needed to be in the brain, and we're going to bring that in by doing a circulation plug-in of blood. So making sure that the blood throughout the brain and all of the nicks and crannies are circulating quietly, gently, without all those thoughts, moving that old deoxygenated blood out of the brain, making sure the new, fresh, healthy blood is being, I'm getting so dizzy. It's like the brain was starving to be oxygenated. Without, I think it's, please don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 2 seconds of the brain not receiving proper oxygen, and there's can already start being brain damage. So crucial to have healthy oxygenated blood within the brain. So the brain is working in functionality, full function, right? So the brain gets all of these, has all of these programs to make the body work. And if the brain is not working properly, then, or getting enough oxygen, then the rest of the whole body system has a hard time. And no wonder you don't want to make decisions from your mind. The brain is not meant for that. You make decisions from your gut. That discernment comes in nice and strong. We want nice, healthy discernment. There's no thinking needed. No thinking, just spontaneous discernment. And so in comes the energy of the new year for this, bringing in the energy of 2020. Or it's this fresh slate, but every day is a fresh slate. And it's so interesting. Someone was mentioning that, as we talked a little bit before the session started, that, I feel like I have to wait until a certain time to begin again. There's a saying in Reiki, or the precepts in Reiki, it says, minute by minute, you can begin again. I'm paraphrasing and I've not going um, into the exact details, but it means in every breath, in every moment, you have the ability to start over. Every breath is a fresh start. In this moment, just for now, I will not anger. Just for now. That just for now, for me, goes into in that I've angered or I've done something in anger, so pathological anger, but then there's a new breath and I can begin again and I can begin again and I can begin again. And the whole system is relaxing. The whole, with that sense, the whole body's relaxing. So I'm seeing the brain flourish like this beautiful flower with oxygenated blood. We're bringing hydration into it, bringing hydration into the corpus callosum, into the lymphatic system, dumping out those old toxic beliefs, those old stories that you tell yourself, those expectations that you bring onto yourself that actually are poison. So we're dumping those toxins out of the brain with a beautiful hydration, sending that hydration down the spinal cord, down through the spinal fluid. Oh, and then I see the whole nervous system beautifully responding and relaxing, rejuvenating and letting go, that just this huge relief. And then the gut relaxes. And we're going to help the digestion for the gut a little bit. We just came out of Christmas, so there's some overeating happening, some sweets. So we want to help that microbiome to help digest, not only help digest the food that we ate during over the holiday season, but help digest the last bit of 2021. So there's a few things happening to that gut. So we're doing a repair to the microbiome, getting that microbiome nice and healthy and strong. And then we want to bring in a seedry to the energy stagnating. It feels like a stagnation in the gut. We want to move that out. So we're going to do a seedry to the energy of 2021 that's lingering in the gut. Just to flush that out, we're going to link that into the large intestines for release, specifically the colon. Oh, there's a lot of energy moving on that one. So, oh God, in the colon, when I said that, so there's a releasing of the hope that died, that 2021 was going to be a so-called better year. And we're going to kill off that hope that 2020 is going to be a better year. So that's also a list of expectations, right? Oh, this will happen now. It's a new year. It's got to happen now. It's got to happen now. Well, thinking that it's going to happen doesn't make it so. And that really takes out the adventure of life. So flushing that out and bringing in the childlike curiosity. I have no idea what's going to happen. All I can do is stay practical by doing this work for yourself, and clearing out the old. And this is what's happening now. I have no idea what's going to happen next year. I have no idea what's going to happen in each moment. And there's some anxiety around that. Oof, my system's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. And then like, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. Well, that really takes out the spontaneous adventure of life. And it happens despite you, doesn't it? Life happens, even if you wanted to control it one way, things will always come up that it doesn't quite happen like that. Everyone on one way or another has experienced that, but there's huge control and contraction and anxiety around that. So we're going to do a release of that anxiety from the colon, that holding on of Sigmund Freud is coming up here, right? And he said anyone who's anal retentive, right? Really tight anus, contracted and constipated, is the inability to let anything go. So the people that hold on to grudges, even if you don't hold on to grudges, holding on to resentments, thoughts, beliefs, very strong beliefs about something, or even going back and doing, thinking back to the past, that blame, thinking, oh, it's because of this and it'll never change, that really holds a tight anus. You want to relax it, right? So I'm going to do this through a biogenic release, emotional release. And we're going to dump anxiety. We're going to dump it to the unknown. It's just unknown. It's not good or it's bad. It's just an unknowing. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm going to keep repeating that. It feels really important for the system. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Certainly going to the past is not going to dictate my future. But that old thinking actually does somehow manifest it in the same way, right? Oof. So it feels like being in a hamster cage. We're just going to bring in the newness of 2022, bringing it in like childlike adventure. Anything is possible. And bringing you back into that centered space of stillness. I'm still within myself. Life can be happening around me, but I'm centered. I am still. There we go. That feels like there's some relief there. All right, take a nice deep breath. I'm going to tap this in. Tapping this in. Going back into the small intestines. And we're going actually into the gut brain. And it feels like it's disjointed. So we've got the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain feels like it's flying out somewhere over there. So we need to do a vibe. We're going to go ahead and do a body 5 axis to the small intestines and link it back up in conjunction with the 3 brains. So the 3 brains are working simultaneously together, like one whole brain, but it's 3 separate brains. Bringing it back into the body. And then linking that small intestines, anchoring it back to the digestive system and to the large intestines. That feels really powerful. As I do that, I can feel this really big shift within the sacrum and the occiput. So we need to do a sacral occiput balance. So that spine is working cohesively, that it's strong and stable, but not rigid. So bringing in flexibility, the consciousness of flexibility, like a tree. The wind blows and the tree bends and it doesn't break. And it can bounce back centered in its life. The wind blows again and it bends and it comes back. Just bringing in that visual, right? You're able to bend and flow. Changes may happen, but you're centered in that stillness. That feels really nice. And that there's an unburdening happening from the shoulders right there of concepts of responsibility. So responsibility is the ability to respond. That's it. And then we'll have all of these thinking about about responsibility. And in comes soul responsibility as an anchor to this link, to this formula. Soul responsibility is another modality that I do, that I lead people through and teach, that I do courses. You can check out my website, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. Bringing in soul responsibility to unburden that your true responsibility is yourself. Your true responsibility is yourself. There, my whole body just relaxed and went quiet. End of session. Gorgeous. Take a nice deep breath. Tapping this in. Beautiful. Happy New Year. See you all next week for the first oral session of 2022.